Well, all right. I think we finished sports segment, and now we're moving on to TVs
and movies.
Segment and movies.
TVs. We're gonna review TVs.
I got one right here.
IMET TVs.
Don't worry about it. But before we talk about TVs and movies that we have been watching lately, we are going to talk about this awesome beer that Ryan picked out here that we're going to review real quick. What is this beer that we?
This is from Slo Brewing. Yeah. It's Cali-Squeeze. It is a blood orange Hefeweizen.
So this is the hef we were talking about.
Right?
Exactly. So we got to see if my snobby ass is going to like this.
Oh, Chris says he doesn't like Hefeweizens blended with fruits. But I told him this might be one that he would like.
Oh, we're going to pour it in here real quick. Are we pouring in our glass?
I love that sound.
Oh, yeah. Baby.
Let's see who pours the better beer right now.
Obviously.
Well, that's no contest.
That's no contest, bro. Like, I got it.
Let's have a contest.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
I'm
the winner
think you
of
won?
Everything.
All right, let's see what happens.
See, the question is, you got to pour it good with some head.
With some head, yeah. I got no head, but that's fine.
All right, hey, hold on, Steve.
You don't often have heads.
Hold on, Steve.
That's kind of true.
All right, let's see what everyone got here.
That's pretty good.
But see, here's the thing.
Pretty thick.
Here's the thing. You're not empty.
All right, you want me?
You still got more. See,
I do have more. You got
see,
more?
there's feel that. See who's emptiest right there.
Really empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me feel yours, Steve.
No, I got some. I got a little bit.
You got a little bit.
Yeah, see.
You have a beer cup.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. All right, guys. So this is a blood orange Hefeweizen. It is brewed from Slo Brewing called Cali-Squeeze. Let's give it a shot.
But
you spill yours.
Oh.
I am still no spills.
Yeah, it's because you poured a whole hell of a lot less.
Exactly.
That's true.
But you know what? All spilling aside, I really love the look of this. Like, look at that.
Look how hazy that is. You can't even see through that cup.
But see, that looks like a hef to me. Like, not like
very
hazy IPA
unfiltered.
Bullshit. Right, exactly.
You see all the wheat. All right, guys. Let's try this.
That's pretty good, dude. That's what.
Wow, you really jumped the gun, didn't you?
I jumped the gun, bro. For the rest of the year.
Okay.
That's not bad, dude. It's not like
too. You don't taste the citrus. You don't taste the sweetness.
Yeah,
it's on the back end.
It is. That's pretty good.
It's good.
It's not bad.
I do like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really taste like a hef to me, though.
No.
It doesn't.
It's very citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can definitely taste the citrus. And it's good. I like it. But it's not what I expect from hef. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just...
It's different.
I do taste the hef.
It's different. It's an infused beer. And they were going on a different motive on this. And...
I could taste the thickness.
Now, let me
it's got a good thickness.
Let me ask you guys this: is this a good sipper for the summer?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, can you have two of these or three of these and be fine?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
So, hold on a second.
That's pretty.
When have you ever seen me, Steve?
What?
Only have 2 or 3 of any one beer.
Fucking never.
Now, could you have these come in a 4-pack, so could you have 4 of these and be fine?
What I would probably do, just knowing me, if I was going to drink these, I would probably have 2 4-packs.
Oh, really? You like it that much?
Well, that's just kind of the way I roll.
Yeah.
This is kind of the way I roll.
More beer, the better.
But I do like it. Yes.
Now, is this a good Hefeweizen that is infused with...
that is really the question. And I don't want to slam the beer because I legitimately like it. I do legitimately like it. Yeah. But it does not taste really that much like a hef to me.
Yeah.
It tastes a little bit more like a wit.
Yeah, like a wit beer.
Yeah, so... Which is close to a hef, to be fair. It's close. But it doesn't give me this kind of the same weedy, yeasty flavor I'm used to from a hef.
I don't know. I kind of do feel it. Well, at least the thickness when you drink it, it's pretty thick.
It gives
me a good wheat feel to it as a thickness wise.
It is very
the thickness, yes, not necessarily the flavor.
Yeah, flavor, yeah, but definitely
you can see the layers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like that's what I was mentioning. The coloration and it's a beautiful looking beer.
It is.
I mean, if you can't see it on camera, if you're here in person, it is a beautiful looking beer. And it really does taste great. I don't want to seem like I'm hating on it or anything. Actually, I'm definitely not.
Smell it, guys. It's You smell the citrus, but it's not overpowering. If you've ever had an actual blood orange, they're very purple. Yeah. They are very red, but they're not too citrusy. They have their own distinct.
It doesn't have as much of a tartness.
Exactly.
It's more smooth. Like you get the citrus. There's definitely a citrus flavor there. Like you definitely get it. Definitely taste but it doesn't bite like a there's not a sour element. So often with citrus you get a slight sour element. There's a tartness there. With blood orange you don't typically get that.
No, not at all. And that is a very California type fruit because that is a California exclusive, the blood orange. Yeah. I think Florida has them too, but California's got it on point.
Right. Another good beer, though.
Good beer. Thank you, Ryan.
Pretty good
am I 3 for 3 on these beers?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 3 for 3.
I mean,
it's pretty good. Not bad.
They're all pretty marginal. So
the sour though.
They're good.
The Duchess de Bourgogne is different.
That's probably the best. I would say this is a close second because even though it doesn't really give me the heft feel, I still like this a lot. I like the flavor a lot. It is very refreshing, and it's definitely something I could drink. I would take this over the Pilsner for sure.
Yeah. I would take this over the sour for me. Like,
really? You like it that much?
I like it a lot better than the sour one that we had.
The sour takes a very distinct palate. It's different.
But
it's also more of a gourmet beer.
Yes, and I like that about it. I like that it was. It's not something I'm going to drink. I'm not going to get 2 4-packs of that. Yeah. Right.
That's a one-of-a-time thing.
Right.
I'm going to have a good ribeye steak dinner.
Yes.
I'm going to have the
Duchess
with it.
Whereas this, I could have 2 4-packs.
I'm going to have 4 tacos. I'm going to have
that was earlier. But let's not forget that this is the TV and movie segment. We talk about what we have watched recently the past month.
So what have you watched recently, Steve?
So me, what have I watched? Let me look at my notes here. I'm going to start with the CW shows Stargirl that just started. You actually can watch it on the DC Universe.
Yeah.
Whatever the app or whatever you want to call it, DC Universe app. You can watch on there or the CW show. It's not too bad. I'm enjoying it so far.
Who is Stargirl?
You want me to take this one?
You can take this one because I'm just watching.
She is a C-level DC comic book superhero.
Yeah.
I would say solid C level.
Solid C level.
So she's more towards the back burner of the main stars.
Absolutely.
I'm just getting into it. I've never even known who Stargirl was until the show, so I've never really.
You watched the Justice League animated series.
I have.
So she's in Justice League Unlimited.
Unlimited? She's in Unlimited. No.
So if we were going to compare this to the Marvel universe, what character would this be compared to?
It's actually a pretty solid question. Let me think on that for a second. Go ahead, Steve. Talk about the show and I'll.
I'm not talking about too much of the show. It's okay so far. It only has 2 episodes. I'm still kind of like getting into it. I'm about B-, C+ on the show right now.
I got a comp for you when you're ready.
But I'm gonna still keep going here on what else I've been watching.
Before you do that,
okay.
My Marvel comp to answer your question
what's wrong?
would be along the lines of Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Okay,
I can see that.
We're going to a parallel universe kind of thing where it's a main character, but it's also a back character. So
yes, C level. So third tier character, right?
Is this more towards like the Superman status? Like is this a direct kind of person to Superman as Stargirl, or is this like
direct person to Superman?
Like the same kryptonite kind of thing?
No. You mean like Supergirl?
Yeah.
No. Completely different.
Okay.
Completely different. Yeah. Completely standalone character. It's just, when I say C-level, I just mean that she's like a third-tier character. So, like Ant-Man was, right? Before they made a really good Ant-Man movie, nobody knew or gave a shit who Ant-Man was.
No one did.
I did, because I'm a huge comic book guy. But nobody else did, right? In the mainstream world, and Stargirl is kind of at that level.
Yeah.
Is this kind of like how Ant-Man? You know how it was very comedy relief compared to most of the Marvel.
No. This is more serious.
No. And
especially with the CW show, it's a little more serious.
And by the way, that was more in the movie context. Ant-Man in the comic book context is not as comedy based.
Yeah.
That was more the movie. They went that direction. In the comic book, there's elements there. Scott Lang has elements of comic relief in the comic. I mean, a lot of them do, right? A lot of them do, but it wasn't necessarily as comedy based.
Do you think Ant-Man went the right direction with how they portrayed the?
I think they did a fantastic job because they made him an extremely compelling character.
Exactly.
They took somebody that nobody gave a shit about,
and
made you give a shit about.
Made him important.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They and I've known Ant-Man. You know, I'm a big comic book guy, so I've known Ant-Man as a pretty integral part of the Avengers, right? Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, he's not an A-level character, right? That's Captain America and Iron Man, and the B-level characters would be like Black Widow. You know, War Machine, stuff like that, and then Ant-Man kind of comes in, like I said, sea level. But they did a great job of making him a truly compelling character. Yes. They did a great. That's a testament to Marvel Studios.
And if speaking of Marvel, studios, I have restarted watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe all over again.
Amazing.
I'm at the point where I just finished the first Avengers movie, and speaking of just random Ant-Man, like if it wasn't for Ant-Man, like Endgame wouldn't have saved the universe.
Well, yes, we all know that.
Or the rat,
Oh, stop!
Like push the button or whatever. But I digress. If you haven't watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe from start to finish, we've all taken that journey the first time. Please rewatch it again because you find new innuendos and new things to discover during the series that you maybe have not catch the first time around. Rewatch it again. That's where I'm at right now.
It's very rewarding. If you watch all the movies and you follow along, Endgame alone references almost all of them.
Yeah.
It's if you know what's going on, the canon, so to speak. Yeah. It's extremely rewarding. It's extremely rewarding.
Yes. Rewatch it again. Do it. And the other movie that I've watched that is just fucking amazing is fucking amazing is the Raid Redemption and Raid 2.
Now that is a martial arts movie, right?
Martial arts movie.
Martial arts hybrid, yeah.
Who's the main character? I forget the name. Do you remember the name?
The actor's name?
The actor's
Iko Uwais.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Is this like Ip Man status?
Amazing movies. Way fucking better.
So
if you have not seen these movies, these two movies, The Raid Redemption, Raid 2,
I think they're Filipino. Are they Filipino movies, or am I getting it wrong?
No, you're getting it wrong. They're
an island nation. I thought Indonesian. They're Indonesian, which is near Philippines.
Now these guys,
mind-blowing action films. The fight scenes in these movies
they're so
amazing,
correct.
Yes,
that they do all this on their own, right? Like Ip Man, where they just do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no graphic arts. It's all
no CGI.
No CGI.
It's all stunt work. It's all stunt work.
That's the Raid. I remember the Raid was one of the top ones where they said these people did everything so perfectly.
Have you watched it?
I've seen parts of the Raid, the first one.
You have to watch it.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's great. It's great. It's great. If you like action movies, do yourself a favor.
It's a must watch.
Watch it.
Must watch
now.
Yes. I don't know why you haven't. No. If it's been out for a while, fucking watch these movies.
I've actually been watching some of the Korean films out, and one of them is The Last Train to Busan.
Oh,
it's a movie all about zombies. And these people are on a train to Busan, and it's a zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
And it is insane.
In the train.
Yes, on the train.
Okay.
All right. Have you guys seen World War Z?
Of course.
Yeah.
Quick, fast zombies.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
or like the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly.
Fast. Yeah.
This is Last Train to Busan. Quick, fast zombies, but
in a train, which is confined.
In a train and on the way to a destination.
Yeah.
And on that subject, I just finished watching World War Z. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
You've never seen that before?
I've seen it before back when it came out, but I watched it again within
rewatched it
3 months.
I haven't rewatched it. I've only seen it the once when it came out, so I probably rewatched it.
It is so close to what the coronavirus is going on. Social distancing, staying away from people, how fast a disease can spread.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie. Mm-hmm. And to base this on a book, I wouldn't need to read the book because the movie only has so much, but the book is so much better.
Yeah.
And then also with the Korean films is The Parasite. It is a movie based on a family who takes over the life of another family, being their butler, their cook, their janitor, and they make their way into this family and they just take over. And it's like a
take it over from the inside.
Exactly. And they do such a good job with it, acting, choreographically, just everything perfect. It's one of those movies that just tears your mind apart because in the end there's so much endings that you could see that it's just one of those movies you got to see. The Parasite, it's a Korean film.
I really
watch it.
Well, I mean, everybody should know this because it won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And no foreign movies really do that.
No,
it's fairly unprecedented. I know Crouching Tiger was nominated, but I don't think Crouching Tiger won. It was nominated.
No, it didn't.
But just being nominated is a feat, and Parasite was obviously nominated. When it won, it was a big surprise. Yeah. So I really need to see this movie because I'm big into films and movies. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge film buff. I've seen every Best Picture winner. Not that the Academy Awards are the be all end all. There's plenty of movies that I love that are some of my favorites that the Academy doesn't even recognize. It's a whole other story. But the ones that they do recognize are usually pretty good.
The acting is great. The acting is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The way they portray the characters, the way that you don't know what the ending is going to be, you don't know what the movie's about. It's just you never know what's going on until the end.
Yeah,
it's an amazing movie. The Koreans have perfected the movies. I would watch it. The South Koreans are amazing at making movies. Start with The Parasite if you want to have a drama. If you want to have an action flick with zombies, start with The Last Train to Busan. Amazing, both on Netflix.
All right, both on Netflix. Huh? All right.
Parasite's on Netflix?
Parasite is on Netflix, but I think you have to pay for the premiere. But Last Train to Busan is free on it.
Okay. All right. Fuck yeah. There we go.
If not, Hulu has both. So.
Hulu has both. Well, there you go.
There's all the ones that you can. That are free, AFHD TV, whatever you want to do, go ahead.
All right. Well, what about you, Chris? What have you been watching?
So,
did you finish your 007
I did.
Yeah.
Just watched Spectre a couple nights ago, actually. So
that's with Dan O'Kay?
Yes. So that's the last one.
So he's
fucking awesome.
He doesn't have one more
series?
Yeah, he does. No Time to Die. It was supposed to come out in April, and it got pushed back to November.
Yeah. Now, after Dan O'Kay was done, is it going to a female cast? Last I heard, they were going to go for female.
They want to, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
I hope not.
I don't know.
I mean, you can't have James Bond as a female, right? Yeah. I mean, what female?
It would be a different.
I know. I'm kidding. But no, I don't really think that's. I don't really see that as being an option. What I would rather see is something like if they were going to do something like that, I'd rather see something like a spinoff, like say his daughter or something.
Okay.
We all know that he very well could have impregnated many females over the vast majority of the movie.
After 60 years.
He could. I'm sure he's got plenty of children out there. So I would rather see something like that and see it like a spin-off aspect and have it be another character while they also continue the James Bond character, because what's great about the James Bond movies is they've created a tradition, right? Yeah. To where this character lives on.
Yes.
There is no reason to kill the character,
nope.
right? There's no reason to say we're not going to do this anymore because it's a character that lives on that people love. Why would we not want to see him anymore? Of course we want to see him more.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that we can't have other characters. Like if they want to do a female version or a female type that kind of goes through the same stuff.
Yeah.
But we can have the best of both worlds. We don't need to have one or the other. It goes back to the whole binary thing. Yeah. We don't need to have one or the other. We could have both.
When did you... So you've been watching 007. When did you start? What did you start with?
We started at the very beginning.
Yeah, very
Dr. No.
Dr. No.
I have the entire collection.
Do you have it on DVD or VHS?
Blu-ray. VHS.
VHS.
That's what it started with.
Do you guys even know what VHS is? Yes. I have it all on Blu-ray.
Do you guys... Okay, we're going to go back to the 90s. Do you guys remember having Nintendo 64? And playing 007 GoldenEye?
Oh, God, yeah.
Did you guys play that game?
Of course.
Yes, of course, yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Great movie, too, by the way.
How awesome was that movie in that game?
The movie's awesome.
They compared both so good.
Yeah, they do.
There has not been a better Nintendo 64 game than GoldenEye.
Well, there weren't that many great Nintendo 64 games.
But that was one of the best.
Are we going back to our last episode of who's your favorite Bond?
Stop it.
Who was your favorite Bond? I didn't see this one. Who was your guys' favorite Bond?
You got a big fucking mouth, you know that?
I think we're going to move on from that one.
So, I'm a waffler when it comes to the Bonds. I like all of them for their own reasons. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Hey, I'm going to say I like Pierce Brosnan.
There you go.
Okay, Pierce Brosnan's great. I love Pierce Brosnan. His movies aren't as good as Daniel Craig's movies.
No, but that was 10 years ago.
But he's
compared to
still
Daniel
great.
Craig.
He's still great.
He didn't have as much advancement into the movie industry.
Yeah, come on, advancement in the movie industry. They started in the 60s, bro.
What was the movie he did with the volcano?
Dante's Peak.
Yeah, I love that movie when they're in the water and the volcano erupts and their skeletons are like ah!
And he's using his shirt to paddle because the water's boiling, but he can use his shirt to protect them from the acid water.
The couple are making out and they turn to skeletons.
Oh, you're talking about the natural hot spring. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I love that.
I think we went off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's called a tangent.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So, movies that I have watched.
What else have you watched during the
So, who's your favorite Bond, Steve? Nobody gives a fuck. It doesn't matter. So, anyway, movies that I have watched. I watched a couple. You would like this. I've watched a couple of the new DC animated movies.
Which ones?
Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Oh, yeah? All right.
Which was incredible.
Does it continue with... Is it like the same along the lines of Justice League Dark, the first one? Is it...
Well, hold on, because Justice League Dark continued upon a lot of stuff that was built before that, from Justice League War and everything. So, without getting too long into it, they followed the New 52 storyline, post Flashpoint, right? Flashpoint paradox, where everything was changed.
Yeah.
And then when Barry changed it back, it created kind of an offshoot universe, a la Back to the Future Part 2. So, all the characters are slightly different, right? And they've been following that for a while now, starting with Justice League War, right? So, and blah, 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 blah. Apocalypse War is the culmination of all that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I also watched Superman Red Son, which is a classic Superman graphic novel. One of the classic Superman graphic novels out there. It's an Elseworlds tale of if Superman had actually, instead of landing in Kansas, landed in the Soviet Union.
In Russia.
In the middle of the Cold War, right?
Really?
So, yes.
That's different.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, it's awesome.
So what's the difference? Can you tell me the difference of him, instead of landing in Kansas, landing in Russia?
Well, the difference is he's basically the hero of a communist country, right? So he has communist ideals.
Okay.
He starts under the tutelage of Stalin, and basically, kind of his ideals kind of jump off from there. They do differ from Stalin's in ways. So there is nuance there that's pretty interesting and unique. But he's not about capitalism, right? He's not about the American way, right? He's not truth, justice, the American way. He's truth, justice, and the Soviet way.
Really?
So, yeah. So, it's really interesting. Really, really, really great Elseworlds story.
Yeah.
A lot of people complained about the ending of the movie.
Yeah. As
different from the ending of the graphic novel.
Okay.
The comic series was actually a three story arc, 3-issue story arc. And a lot of people complain about the ending of the movie, but I actually really liked it. I thought it worked pretty well. And I enjoyed it a lot. It was great.
Let me ask you guys, what would be the biggest flaws with Marvel and DC? With the way their movies have been coming out.
Well, I'll tell you this: Marvel, there's fucking zero flaws with Marvel's.
So why has Marvel had zero flaws?
Hold on.
And DC has had.
I wouldn't say that. The Marvel universe has been fantastic. That does not mean it's flawless. Okay. The only flaw that you could maybe poke at the Marvel universe is edginess, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So they haven't had anything beyond the normal PG-13 blockbuster.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of dynamics there as far as that front is concerned.
Which is fine because they have amazing storytelling.
No, it works fine. It's not like it's a drawback.
Yeah.
But it could be viewed as a flaw because if we're going to pretend like either one of them should be perfect, whatever. I guess that would be your flaw for Marvel. So DC obviously has a lot more flaws because they've never been able to really kind of get it together.
Before I think the whole Dark Knight saga, the three, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, obviously was amazing. But once they did the Man of Steel, which I enjoy a lot, like the Man of Steel, and
it's a good movie.
Then they tried to do their own Marvel Universe thing with Batman v Superman.
The problem is they rushed it.
They did.
And it's not
didn't
just
work.
It's not just that they rushed it. It's also that they forced fanboy service.
They did. Yeah.
They went fanboy service in having Batman versus Superman. Yeah. Which is a ludicrous concept, which I will not get into here because it starts a whole long conversation. I'm just going to leave it that it's a ludicrous concept, but they did it to sell tickets and to service fanboys, and that's it. And that was the major flaw. It's ground zero, really.
What was the Batman animated version of that? What was that called? I can't remember.
There was no Batman animated.
No, there was.
Are you talking about The Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, The Dark Knight Returns.
It's totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
but
it's not a Superman-centric story.
No, it's not. It's a Batman-centric story.
Frank Miller bastardized Superman in that story. Yeah. He really did. Yeah. Because it's a Batman-centric story. Yeah. Batman vs. Superman in the movie is not supposed to be a Batman-centric story. It's more centered around Superman and his conflict, and then Batman is there. It's both of them, really. Yeah. The Dark Knight Returns, what you're talking about, is a Batman-centric story. Yeah. Superman essentially becomes a cog in that story. Yeah. He becomes a part of that story. And they really kind of bastardize his character. Frank Miller really bastardized. It's one of my biggest problems with Frank Miller. I think he's a great artist as far as, I don't mean artist as far as drawing, I mean artist as far as creativity. Yeah. And writer, he's great, but his take of Superman was ridiculous in that story.
What do you guys think of Shazam?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, how they were able to go into the same universe as that Batman and Superman, but make it more of a comedy relief, but also add Superman at the end.
Yeah, that was great.
That's cool.
It's great, but they didn't take it too seriously.
No, they didn't take it serious.
Exactly. It's just part of the problem with Batman vs. Superman is the concept of forcing those two characters to fight for fan service is stupid.
It was too much.
But also, they took it too seriously.
Exactly. Yeah. But Shazam, they were able to take it easy and just have some fun to it. 100%. And at the end, throw in Superman and throw in some concepts of, hey, the Batarang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Superman's gonna come to me at the last at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just throw it into that universe, but just keep it easy.
And also, They kept it easy. That's a good point, and they told a great story.
It did.
That's what it boils down to.
And it was cool because it was a bunch of kids that got these superpowers,
which is from the
exactly. Yeah. And they were able to just go with the concept. You know, it was just amazing, and I think that's what they did with Marvel with Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. Same thing, and it worked so perfectly.
They just focused on the characters and focused on telling a good story, and didn't focus on forcing two characters into a certain direction for fan service, for supposed fan service. I call it fanboy service, because that's what they did with Batman vs Superman. Is that they didn't just want to tell a good story. They wanted, okay, how do we get these two characters to this point?
It was too large. Right. It was too much information and too much personality.
Well, and you're forcing these two characters to this point, and it just doesn't make sense. But the reason they did it is because they want to sell tickets, and they wanted to create, because they thought we can capitalize on message board freaking fights, basically, where people argue.
Batman has its standalone where you can hint in Superman. Yeah. Superman can have its movie where you hint in Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't need to have them both conflicting with each other. Just have them portray each other and hint into the movies.
That's why
they thought it would sell tickets. That's why.
That's why I love DC animated.
Yes, much
more.
better.
And that's where they've got
live,
absolutely
live version. DC animated gets it.
See,
they get it.
Marvel has been lucky. They have had so much time to morph all these characters into one.
They took their time. They didn't rush it.
They made these origin stories. One origin story. Two origin stories.
That's why
three.
You have to watch
after three origin story, let's make a commune.
And by the way, by the time you get to Civil War, right?
You have so much.
They weren't forcing the characters there.
You knew it.
They built it.
They built it.
There was
all the way
there was
through,
equity there, and you felt both characters' aspects. You felt. You were on both of their sides.
Yeah. And when they
loved both of them.
Yes, when they come together, you're like, oh my god, the stories are combined. Exactly. You understand now.
Right. And
that scene where all of a sudden Tony Stark, they show that video of his parents dying.
And he says, I know this video. What is it?
And it's like, you get goosebumps, like, oh shit.
No, I never speak out loud in a movie theater, ever. Like, I'm not an outburst person. When he said that, when he said, I know that road, I said out loud, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Out loud in the theater. I've never done that in my entire life.
God. Yeah.
In that movie, because they had built it so much and they made you a part of these characters.
You had 3 Iron Man movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when that one comes out and it's forged into a movie with all these characters, you already know what's going to happen. And anything he says, you've had all these movies combined to it. You're like, oh my goodness.
There's the bottom line is there's equity there, and they built a good story. They did not just force these characters into a fight to sell fucking tickets.
You don't know, like the Batman or Superman, you know who they are, but they didn't have enough background on them. No, they've had so many movies on them, but they're not the same. No. They're all different. But the Marvel ones, they've built these storylines to where they all mix, all in one. And then by Infinity War 2, everything's combined perfectly. And it sucks. And it's given to you in the palm of the hand, like, here you go. And you just feel so much for every character.
And it sucks that, they don't get as much credit as they should. That 20-plus movie series building up to the end game, it's amazing, and you will never, ever, ever see that ever again.
It took years.
You will never see that again.
Years and years.
Enjoy what you have.
DC doesn't have that. They don't have that. They rush everything.
They did.
If they would have
they wanted to jump on the
if they were doing what Marvel did, they would have started from the beginning.
Yeah.
And you know what? The main difference is, honestly, is that it started with Marvel Studios being a startup company that was started by Marvel Comics execs and producers that were associated with Marvel Comics. DC is Warner Brothers. It's a production studio that's been around forever that thinks they got it all figured out. Marvel came in with a different approach. They said, this is what we're going to do, which is unheard of in movies. Nobody does that.
No.
Studios are reluctant to do sequels, right? They only do it when they think they can make a buck. They are never thinking that we're going to turn this into a 22 film arc.
Yeah.
Never.
Who in the year 2000 thought Iron Man 1 was going to go past what it did?
No, nobody.
But how good was that movie?
Yeah, it's great.
And then Iron Man 2 came out, and you're like, oh my god, they did better.
Well, Iron Man 2...
But still...
Stop it. Iron Man 2 is a good movie.
They were able to pick up from what Iron Man 1 did and turn to Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man 3 and pick up that... And then turn that into the rest of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 1 is what started the whole Marvel Universe.
It did. Well,
and no one thought it was going to be near... Because Iron Man was a B-level character. Yeah. He's not Spider-Man.
No, he's not.
He's not Spider-Man.
They already did Spider-Man.
Right. But that's their A-level character is Marvel. That's Marvel's Superman.
They didn't have that.
Spider-Man.
Sony owned that.
Right, exactly.
So they took Iron Man. Correct. They took Iron Man and made him a fucking badass.
They made him an A-level character.
They made him better than Spider-Man.
Yeah. They made him an A-level character, which was unheard of. Because I'm big into Marvel comics, and Iron Man is a great character, but he's not a top-tier character. You know, Daredevil was more popular than Iron Man.
It was. Yeah.
Daredevil's a great character.
And they tried
Daredevil. Watch
Daredevil,
Netflix series.
and they fucked it up.
Well, that's because they made a shitty-ass movie. Yeah. You watch the Netflix series. That's way better. Way better than the Ben Affleck movie. But anyway, so...
We digress.
We kind of got off into a rant there. Yeah. So, you like Shazam.
I like...
Where did that go?
I'll put it this way. I like superhero movies that change the way that they're portrayed.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. It takes difference. It takes a different understanding of these superheroes. That you don't need Superman. You don't need Batman. You don't need Iron Man. You don't need Spider-Man. You can have any superhero you can have.
Because the stories are there.
They're there.
They're there. Absolutely.
If you have someone that proves a difference to the world, that's all you need. And Shazam had that. They took a 12-year-old boy, turned him into a superhero, and branched him off into 7 different superheroes.
Yeah.
At the very end, you wouldn't even expect that, and they did it.
I'm happy. I hope.
And DC did great on that movie.
DC does good with the second movie of Wonder Woman.
The first one's fantastic, by the way. That might. It's in competition with Shazam for being the best DC movie.
I agree.
The first Wonder Woman was fantastic.
Yeah. The second one with Chris Pine.
When it comes
out. The first one has Chris Pine.
I'm hoping
is that the first one?
Yeah, it's the first one.
Are you sure that's the one?
Yeah. Okay. When the second one comes out, hopefully we're amazed.
1984, right?
Yes.
We're going to the 80s.
Yeah.
What was the last movie that used
World War One?
World War One.
Oh no, they used the 80s?
They used the 80s.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that concept where they went back in time.
No, Captain Marvel was 90s.
80s.
Was it
80s? They used Blockbuster and all that.
I think it was the 80s.
No, it was 90s.
It might have been the early 90s.
It might have been the 90s.
It was the 90s because she had the 9 Inch Nails shirt.
Oh, that's true.
It was 90s.
Whatever. 90s, 80s.
And they had a Kevin Smith reference in it.
Yeah, Mallrats.
Mallrats, yeah. It was a 90s reference.
Kevin Smith. We love you, bro.
Kevin Smith.
We love you, bro. Anyway, I'm sure this video is running incredibly long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
We expect
this is going to take some creative editing.
Cali-Squeeze, blood, Hefeweizen.
Good luck with that.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing us talk about
We're going to music. Movies. We're going to music next. I hope you guys enjoy music.
Can you hear that in the mic? We're not supposed to do that.
I haven't been doing that this whole video. Just that second one.
Until you start going like this.
I haven't been doing that either.
Come on. We're trying to stop that. Sorry for that. But
music's next.
Next video is music. Yes, sir. We'll see you then, buddy.